This is a calm 60-minute bedtime story for sleep. Nothing sudden will happen. Nothing will change quickly. You can simply listen and rest. It is night now. Not late in a dramatic way. Just night, settled and steady. You are inside a quiet room. A simple room with dark wooden walls. The air is cool, but not cold. The floor is still. The space feels held, as if it has already decided to be calm. In front of you, there is a window. A 4-pane window, divided into gentle squares. The glass is slightly cool. Beyond it, the night is soft and blurred. Rain is falling outside. Not violent. Not sharp. Just rain, continuous and patient. You can hear it clearly. Rain beyond the window. A steady texture, like a curtain made of tiny drops. It does not ask anything from you. It only keeps moving, and that is enough. Near the window, a lantern is lit. A small lantern, warm and quiet. The flame is not loud. It does not jump. It holds one steady glow, like a gentle promise. The lantern light touches the room in one small circle. A soft pool of warmth. The rest of the room stays dark, but friendly. Not empty. Not lonely. Just quiet. The window shows faint reflections. Sometimes you see the lantern's glow in the glass. Sometimes you see the darker shapes of the room. And behind it all, the rain continues. You do not need to focus. You do not need to listen closely. You can listen from far away, as if the sound is already part of the air. If your eyes are open, that is fine. If your eyes are closed, that is fine. Either way, you are allowed to slow down. The rain has a rhythm, but it is not a pattern you must follow. It is simply there. Drop after drop, soft after soft. A steady line of sound that makes the night feel safe. Outside the window, the world is dim. Street lights are distant. Maybe there are faint colors, blurred into small dots. Maybe there is only darkness and rain. Either way, nothing needs your attention. Inside, the lantern keeps the room gentle. Its light does not reach everywhere. It does not try to. It only rests where it rests. You can rest the same way. Not everywhere at once. Not perfectly. Just enough. You might notice your breathing. You do not need to change it. Just notice that it happens. In and out. Quietly continuing. The rain continues too. Beyond the window. Always outside, always separate. And because it is outside, you are inside. Protected. Held? The window panes divide the night into 4 calm spaces. Each pane holds its own darkness. Each pane holds its own rain. Small streaks of water slide down, slowly. They do not hurry. They do not compete. Sometimes the rain sounds slightly closer. Sometimes slightly farther. But it never becomes urgent. It never becomes a problem. The room remains still. No one enters. Nothing changes quickly. There is only the lantern, the window, and the rain. You do not have to do anything. You do not have to solve anything. You do not have to prepare for tomorrow. Tonight is allowed to be simple. If thoughts come, they can come. If thoughts leave, they can leave. You do not need to follow them. You can let them pass through, like rain passing beyond the glass. The lantern light feels warm on your face, even if you are not close to it. It is a gentle kind of warmth. Not bright. Not sharp. Just steady. You may notice your shoulders. You do not need to move them. You may notice your hands. You do not need to change anything. The body can settle in its own time. The rain beyond the window keeps a quiet company. It is not a voice. It is not a demand. It is only sound, soft and constant. The lantern is also constant. A small light that does not try to become a sun. It stays small. And because it stays small, it feels safe. The night outside stays outside. The room stays inside. The window remains between them. A clear boundary. A calm edge. You can imagine the rain tracing lines down the glass. Slow lines, gentle lines. As if the night is writing nothing at all. Just moving water. Just time passing quietly. If you like, you can let your attention rest on one thing. Not tightly. Not like work. Just softly. You can rest on the sound of rain. Or you can rest on the lantern light. Or you can rest on the feeling of being inside. Any one of these is enough. The room is dim, and that helps. Dim light tells the mind it is safe to slow. Dim light tells the day it can stay outside. The day does not need you anymore. Tonight, you are allowed to be unfinished. You are allowed to be quiet. You are allowed to rest without explanation. The rain beyond the window continues its gentle work. Not fixing. Not changing. Only falling. And the lantern continues its gentle glow. Not bright. Not sharp. Just enough. You can stay here. In this quiet room. With the 4-pane window. With the lantern near the glass. With night rain beyond the window. Nothing sudden will happen. Nothing will change quickly. You can simply listen and rest. You can stay here, in this quiet room, with the 4-pane window, with the lantern near the glass, with night rain beyond the window. The rain keeps moving outside. It does not change its mind. It does not switch directions. It simply falls, and falls, and falls. Inside, the room remains still. The lantern glow remains steady. The window remains a calm boundary between you and the night. If you notice the sound of rain, you can notice it. If you do not, that is fine too. Even without attention, the rain continues to hold a soft, constant space. The 4 panes divide the night into quiet squares. Not like a pattern to solve. More like a gentle frame, giving the mind fewer places to go. One pane may look darker than the others. One pane may show a faint blur of distance. One pane may catch a thin reflection of lantern light. And one pane may show rain lines sliding down. But nothing in the window asks you to think. Nothing asks you to interpret. The window is only there, and the rain is only there. You are inside. The rain is outside. That simple separation can be enough to let the body soften. The lantern is close by. A small warm point in the room. It does not demand attention. It simply stays. You can let your attention stay the same way. Not forced. Not focused. Just gently present. If thoughts appear, they can appear. You do not need to fight them. You do not need to follow them. They can appear and pass, without effort. Like rain sliding down glass, leaving no trace you need to read. You might notice the air in the room. It feels calm. It feels settled. As if the room has already decided it will not change quickly. The rain supports that feeling. Rain is simple. Rain is repetitive. Rain is steady. It does not carry a message. It does not bring news. It only falls. Sometimes the sound is slightly thicker. Sometimes slightly thinner. But it never becomes sharp. It never becomes urgent. It never becomes a reason to wake up. The lantern glow may flicker very gently. Not dramatic. Not restless. Just a small living movement. A tiny reminder that warmth is present. You do not need to move. You do not need to adjust anything. If you want to shift, you can. If you want to remain still, you can. Either way, you are allowed to rest. The window glass is cool, but you are not out there. You are not in the rain. You are not in the wind. You are not under the night sky. You are inside, protected by the quiet room. You can let that protection be real, even if you do not feel it strongly. It can simply be true. Sometimes we try to force calm. We try to make the mind quiet. We try to push away thoughts. But tonight you do not need to force anything. You can let the rain do the work of steadiness. You can let the lantern do the work of warmth. And you can do nothing at all. The 4 panes of the window remain simple. 4 soft squares. 4 calm frames. And the rain beyond them is one continuous sound. You can listen to the rain as a single layer. A broad soft sheet of sound. Not individual drops. Not separate taps. Just rain, steady and gentle. If your breathing becomes noticeable, you can notice it. Not to change it. Only to recognize that it continues. In. Out. In. Out. No effort required. The room does not need you to be perfect. The night does not need you to be productive. The rain does not need you to respond. You can let your shoulders be heavy. Not forced down. Just allowed to settle. You can let your jaw be loose. Not something to fix. Just something to soften, if it softens. You can let your hands rest where they are. No need to hold anything. No need to grip anything. No need to prepare. Outside, rain continues. A steady promise of sameness. The kind of sameness that helps sleep arrive. The lantern glow stays small. A small warm shape in the corner of your awareness. It does not demand to be watched. It does not demand to be understood. It is simply present. If you imagine the lantern more clearly, you might see its metal frame. A simple shape. A handle. A warm inner light. Nothing ornate. Nothing complicated. A lantern is made for nights like this. Nights that do not need a bright room. Nights that only need one small point of warmth. The rain beyond the window is made for nights like this too. Nights that do not need meaning. Nights that only need a steady sound. You can allow yourself to drift. Not like falling. More like floating downward, slowly. More like sinking into a soft surface. If you are awake, that is fine. If you are half asleep, that is fine. If you are not sure, that is fine. There is no test. The rain continues whether you sleep or not. The lantern continues whether you sleep or not. The night continues whether you sleep or not. So you are free to stop trying. You can let the mind loosen its grip on the day. Not by pushing the day away. Only by allowing it to fade into the dark edges of the room. The window panes hold the outside scene, divided and small. That division can make the outside feel less wide, less open. It makes the night feel contained. and containment can feel safe. The rain slides down the glass in thin lines. Some lines meet and join. Some lines split and separate. They move slowly. They never hurry. You do not need to watch them. But you can imagine them, if it helps. Moving down. Joining. Separating. Disappearing at the bottom edge. The movement is gentle and predictable. Gentle and predictable is enough. Inside the room, the lantern glow is reflected faintly in the window. A small warm echo of the light. A soft double image. Sometimes the reflection looks like a second lantern. A quiet twin, living in the glass. But it is only a reflection. Only light. Only calm. You can let your attention rest on that idea. Light reflected. Rain beyond. Quiet inside. And you can let your attention drift away again, without effort. The room remains still. No footsteps. No sudden sounds. No surprises. Only steady rain. If you want, you can imagine a thin blanket of warmth around you. Not heavy. Not thick. Just a gentle warmth. Not warm like daytime. Warm like a lantern. Small, steady, and close. The rain is the opposite. Cool, distant, outside. And because it is outside, you can relax inside. The contrast is comforting. Warm inside. Cool outside. A calm separation. If any part of you feels tense, you do not need to locate it. You do not need to analyze it. You do not need to fix it. You can simply let the rain continue. And let time pass. A few more moments. A few more gentle breaths. A few more layers of rain sound. Nothing changes quickly. Nothing becomes urgent. The room stays quiet. The lantern stays warm. The rain stays beyond the window. And you can keep resting, exactly as you are. And you can keep resting, exactly as you are. The rain continues without pause. Even when you stop paying attention, it stays. A soft sound that does not depend on you. Outside the 4-pane window, the night remains blurred. The world has no sharp edges right now. Everything is softened by rain and darkness. Inside, the lantern glow stays small. It makes a quiet circle of warmth. Not a spotlight. Not a bright room. Just enough light to feel safe. You do not need more than that. Sleep does not require brightness. Sleep prefers the gentle and the dim. Sleep prefers the steady and the simple. If your thoughts begin to fade, that is fine. If your thoughts still wander, that is fine too. There is no wrong way to move toward rest. The mind often tries to create movement. It tries to bring back something from the day. A conversation, a plan, a worry, a small unfinished thing. But tonight, movement is not required. You can let the day remain unfinished. You can let questions remain unanswered. Nothing needs to be solved in this room. Rain beyond the window is already doing the only work that matters. Falling. Continuing. Repeating. You may notice how repetition can be soothing. Not because it is exciting, but because it is predictable. Predictable means safe. The rain is predictable. The lantern is predictable. The room is predictable. And you can let your breathing become predictable too. Not by forcing it into a pattern. Only by allowing it to continue naturally. In. Out. In. Out. If you miss a breath, you do not miss anything. It keeps going. Breathing knows how to do itself. The rain knows how to fall. The lantern knows how to glow. And you know how to rest, even if you do not feel it yet. You do not have to try to sleep. Trying can feel like work. Trying can keep the mind alert. So you can stop trying. You can listen. Or you can let the sound pass through you without listening. Either way is good. Imagine the glass of the window again. 4 quiet panes. Each pane holding its own night. The rain lines on the glass move downward. Slowly. Some lines are thin. Some lines are thicker. Some lines meet and become one. Some lines split and become two. This movement is gentle. It never becomes urgent. It never becomes dramatic. It is the smallest kind of change. The kind of change that does not wake you. The lantern reflection in the window is faint. It looks like a soft second light. Not brighter than the first. Just a quiet echo. You can let your mind treat that reflection like a symbol. Warmth inside. Rain outside. A boundary between them. That boundary remains steady. It does not break. It does not open. It does not shift. You are not exposed to the night. You are not required to face the weather. You are not required to do anything. You are allowed to be held by the room. If there is any tension in your body, you can let it exist without attention. You do not have to locate it. You do not have to name it. You do not have to fix it. Sometimes tension leaves only when we stop checking it. When we stop measuring it. When we stop asking if it is gone yet. So you can stop checking. You can stop measuring. You can stop asking. The rain will keep falling. the lantern will keep glowing. And time will keep moving forward in a quiet way. If you notice your face, you can let it soften. Not like a command. Only like permission. A small release around the eyes. A small release around the mouth. If you notice your shoulders, you can let them be heavy. Not pushed down. Only allowed to settle. If you notice your hands, you can let them rest. Not holding. Not gripping. Not preparing. The room remains dim. Dimness is gentle. Dimness tells the mind there is nothing to watch for. Nothing to anticipate. Nothing to defend against. Rain beyond the window reinforces that message. The rain does not stop suddenly. It does not surprise. It does not shout. It stays steady. And steadiness is a kind of safety. You can let the mind become simpler. Not by force. Only by repetition. Rain? Lantern? Window? Room? Rain? Lantern? Window? Room? You do not need more words than that. You do not need more ideas than that. The mind can rest in a small set of gentle things. Outside, the rain continues to write invisible lines in the dark. Inside, the lantern continues to hold a small warmth. And you can continue to drift. Not falling. Not dropping. Only drifting downward, gently. If sleep comes quickly, that is fine. If sleep comes slowly, that is fine too. You are not racing. You are not trying to win. You are only letting the night do what nights do. The four panes remain calm frames. Each pane carries its quiet darkness. Each pane carries its soft rain. And behind all of it, time passes quietly. Without demand. Without pressure. Without urgency. You can keep resting. You can keep drifting. You can keep letting go. The rain stays beyond the window. The lantern stays near the glass. The room stays quiet. And everything continues, softly. And everything continues, softly. The rain does not need to be interesting. It only needs to be steady. And it is. In this part of the night, you can let the mind become quieter, not by effort, but by less input. Less meaning. Less story. Less direction. The room offers that. The lantern offers that. The window offers that. And the rain offers that most of all. You can let the sound of rain be the only thing that keeps moving. Everything else can be still. If a thought appears, it can appear like a small ripple. And then it can flatten again. Not because you force it down. only because you do not feed it. You do not need to answer your thoughts. You do not need to correct them. You do not need to finish them. You can let them fade halfway through. You can let them dissolve before they become a full sentence. The mind can become like the window at night. A surface that holds reflections, but does not keep them. A surface where shapes come and go. A surface where nothing stays sharp. Rain beyond the window makes the outside world less detailed, less readable, less demanding. It turns distance into soft blur. And you can let your inner world do the same, turning details into blur, turning sharp edges into softness, turning urgency into quiet. You might notice that the body is already doing something simple. Breathing. Always breathing. Even when you stop paying attention. You can let your breathing be like the rain. Steady. Automatic. Continuing without your help. In. Out. If you are listening closely, you might notice small sounds in the room. A very faint settling of wood. A soft movement of air. But nothing sudden. Nothing sharp. The lantern glow remains steady. It does not brighten. It does not dim quickly. It holds one calm level of warmth. The rain holds one calm level too. Not exactly the same each second, but steady enough. Predictable enough. Safe enough. You can let safety be simple. Not something you have to earn. Not something you have to prove. Just something you are allowed to have in this moment. The mind sometimes looks for danger when nothing is happening. It searches for what could go wrong. It searches for what must be controlled. But tonight there is nothing to control. The rain is outside. The room is inside. The boundary is clear. And that clarity allows the mind to stop scanning. You can stop scanning. You can stop checking. You can stop preparing. If you catch yourself planning tomorrow, you can let the plan become vague. Not detailed. Not organized. Just a distant idea that fades into the dark. If you catch yourself remembering something from earlier, you can let it be incomplete. A half image. A half sentence. A thought that does not finish. Nothing needs a conclusion right now. The rain continues to fall beyond the window. Not announcing anything. Not changing anything. Only falling. You can let the mind become quieter by returning to one simple phrase. Rain beyond the window. Rain beyond the window. You do not need to repeat it perfectly. You do not need to hold it tightly. It can drift through your mind like a soft echo. Rain beyond the window. And then nothing. the lantern is warm and small. The room is dim and still. The window is cool and clear. The rain is soft and constant. These are enough. The mind can rest on them the way a hand rests on a soft surface. Without gripping. Without effort. If your eyelids feel heavy, you can let them be heavy. If your eyelids feel light, you do not need to change them. The body knows how to move toward sleep. It does not need a command. It does not need pressure. It only needs permission to slow. And you have that permission. You can allow the muscles around your eyes to soften. The forehead can become smooth. The jaw can rest slightly open or gently closed, whichever is easier. The tongue can settle. The neck can release its small effort to hold itself up. You do not need to check each of these. You do not need a list. But if you notice any one of them, you can let it soften. The rain will continue. So you do not need to keep watch. The four panes of the window remain calm squares. Four quiet frames. They hold the outside world at a distance. They make the outside feel small and contained. And because the outside feels contained, the inside can feel spacious in a quiet way. Not spacious with activity. Spacious with room to rest. Room to do nothing. Room to drift. If sleep feels close, you do not need to reach for it. Reaching can wake you. You can simply remain still, and let sleep come to you. Rain beyond the window continues. The lantern continues. The room continues. And the mind can begin to do less. Less thinking. Less labeling. Less narrating. You do not need to describe what is happening. You do not need to understand what is happening. You can simply let it happen. A quiet room. A small lantern. A four-pane window. Rain beyond the glass. Nothing more is required. And in the softness of repetition, the mind can begin to drift into quiet. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Just gently, slowly, and naturally. The mind can begin to drift into quiet. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Just gently, slowly, and naturally. And now you can let the quiet deepen. Not by adding anything. Only by allowing less. Less effort. Less checking. Less need to understand where you are in the night. The rain continues beyond the window, steady and soft. It does not ask for attention. It does not require you to listen closely. It simply remains, like a calm surface you can rest on. Inside the room, the lantern glow is still there. Small and warm. A gentle point of light that does not move quickly. It stays within its quiet circle. You can stay within your own quiet circle too. Not trying to cover everything. Not trying to solve everything. Just resting inside a small safe space. If thoughts appear, you can let them be softer now. Not even full thoughts. More like fragments. A hint of a sentence. A shape without a story. You do not need to complete them. You do not need to fix them. You can let them fade before they become clear. The mind can become like the rain itself. Present. Continuous. But without a message. If you notice a memory, it can be like a blurred light outside the window. Far away. Out of focus. Not something you need to walk toward. If you notice a worry, it can be like a rain line sliding down glass. It moves, it changes shape, and then it disappears at the edge. No need to hold it. No need to stop it. The window remains a quiet boundary. And boundaries are helpful at night. They tell the mind, you are here, and you do not need to go there. You are here. Inside the room. In the dim light. With steady rain outside. And you can let your body be heavier now. Not forced. Only allowed. The weight of your body is not a problem. It is a sign that you can stop holding yourself up. The surface beneath you can do the work. If your breathing feels shallow, it can be shallow. If your breathing feels deep, it can be deep. You do not need to adjust anything. Breathing will settle on its own. The rain helps the breath settle. Not by guiding it. Only by being steady. Steady sound. Steady night. Steady room. You can let the mind stop looking for changes. Nothing changes quickly here. Nothing needs to be monitored. The lantern glow is constant. The rain sound is constant. Time itself becomes soft, as if minutes are no longer sharp divisions. If you are aware of time, you can let that awareness fade. There is no schedule here. No deadline. No next step. Only the night, continuing quietly. Sometimes the mind tries to return to the day out of habit. It tries to pick up an old thread. It tries to remind you of something you forgot. But forgetting is allowed right now. You can forget the day for a while. You can forget your plans. You can forget what you were thinking a moment ago. Even this sentence can fade. Even these words can become distant. The rain beyond the window remains the clearest thing, and it is simple. A broad soft sound. Not separate drops. Just rain. You might imagine the rain touching the ground outside. Softly. Again and again. No effort. No urgency. And you might imagine the room becoming even quieter by comparison. as if the rain takes all movement with it, leaving you only stillness. If your eyes are closed, the darkness can feel gentle. Not empty. Not threatening. Just quiet. If your eyes are open, the dim lantern light can be a soft anchor. A small warm point that tells the mind, you are safe. But you do not have to hold on to it. You can let it blur too. You can let the light become less defined. Less important. The mind does not need an anchor once it begins to float. And you can begin to float now. Not upward. Not outward. Only downward. Deeper into stillness. If a thought appears, it can be like a leaf carried by rainwater. It moves a little, then moves away. No need to chase it. If a feeling appears, it can be like a soft wave. It rises gently, then settles back down. No need to label it. Everything can become less named. Less explained. More simple. Rain outside. Warmth inside. Breath continuing. Body resting. That is enough. You can let the muscles around the eyes soften again. The forehead can remain smooth. The cheeks can be loose. The jaw can rest. No need to check each part. No need to scan. Just permission to soften. The rain continues beyond the four panes. Each pane holds the night quietly. The lines of water on the glass keep sliding down. Slow change. Gentle change. A change that does not wake you. If you listen, you may notice how the rain sound has depth. A near layer and a far layer. A soft hush and a faint tapping. But you do not have to separate it. You can let it be one sound again. One steady layer. One calm blanket. And you can let your mind become one quiet space. Not divided. Not busy. Not full of separate thoughts. Just quiet space. The night continues. The room continues. The lantern continues. The rain continues. And you can continue to rest. Without effort. Without evaluation. Without asking if you are doing it right. There is no right way. There is only easing. If sleep is nearby, it can come closer. If sleep is far, that is fine too. You do not need to reach for it. You can let it approach when it is ready. Rain beyond the window stays steady. Warm lantern light stays steady. And your body can be steady too. Still. Heavy. Quiet. And if your mind slips into gaps between thoughts, you can stay there. In a gap. In a pause. In a quiet space where nothing needs to happen. The rain will carry the night forward. And you can let yourself be carried too. And you can let yourself be carried too. The rain will keep falling, even if you stop noticing it. It can be there on its own, steady and quiet. You do not need to stay awake for anything. You do not need to hold the night together. The night is already stable. The room remains dim. The lantern remains warm. The 4-pane window remains a calm boundary. Nothing needs to change. You can let your breathing become softer. Not deeper on purpose. Not slower on purpose. Only softer, because there is no reason to push. In and out. If your thoughts appear, they can be very distant now. More like a faint shape. More like a small echo that fades before it becomes clear. You do not have to answer anything. You do not have to remember anything. You do not have to decide anything. The rain beyond the window is enough. A steady sound that keeps time for you. A calm sound that tells the mind it can stop watching. You can stop watching. You can stop checking. You can stop holding yourself up. Let the surface beneath you carry your weight. Let the darkness carry the edges of the room. Let the rain carry the outside world. Nothing sudden will happen. Nothing will change quickly. The rain will stay the same. The lantern will stay the same. And you can become simpler. Less thinking. Less naming. Less effort. If sleep is close, you can let it come. If sleep is not close yet, you can still rest. Rest is already enough. The window panes hold the night quietly. The rain touches the glass and slides down. Slow change. Gentle change. A change that does not ask you to follow it. You can let your attention become smaller. Like a candle flame. Like a lantern glow. Like one quiet point that slowly fades into darkness. Your eyelids can be heavy. Your face can be soft. Your shoulders can be loose. Your hands can rest without holding. And if there is a pause between thoughts, you can stay in that pause. A quiet space. A calm gap. Nothing to do there. Nothing to fix. The rain continues outside. Warmth remains inside. Breathing continues. Time continues. And you can drift. Not trying. Not reaching. Only drifting, gently. Just listening from far away. Just resting. Just letting go.